In this lesson, we will cover SSL decryption HTTPS inspection. What will HTTPS inspection, SSL decryption do for us? HTTPS Internet traffic encrypts data using the transport layer security protocol to ensure data privacy and integrity. However, HTTPS traffic has some security risks. It can hide illegal user activities and malicious traffic. Because the HTTPS traffic is encrypted, security gateways cannot inspect the traffic. You can activate the SSL decryption feature to allow your firewall devices to establish a new TLS connection with the site or server. With SSL decryption enabled, security gateways can decrypt and inspect HTTPS traffic using TLS connections. Normally, when we do not use SSL decryption, Firewall cannot examine this traffic when the user goes to an HTTPS site. But when we enable this SSL decryption feature, we can examine the user's SSL traffic. Now let's go to our firewall. First we need to create a certificate on the firewall side, or you need to get this certificate from the certificate authority and install it on our firewall. Since we do not receive certificates from the certificate authority in a lab environment, we will create our own certificate in the firewall, and after creating our certificate, we need to write a policy for decryption. Now let's go to the firewall side and start our configuration. When we come to the firewall side, let's go under the Device tab and create our certificate. On the left there is Certificate Management. Here we click on Certificate. Here, click Generate at the bottom. Let's name our certificate SSL Decryption Certificate. We write our domain name or IP address in the common name field. Our domain is v.com. Let's choose Certificate Authority here. Here you can change the crypto settings if you want. Let's add country as attribute to our certificate from here. Let's add local. Let our local be Istanbul. Let's add an organization, and that's Cloud Networks. Now we can generate. Let's click on our certificate and enable the options here. Now we have created our certificate. After creating our certificate, we need to go under the Policy tab and create a decryption policy. Let's go under the Policy tab. Here we need to create a policy by coming to the decryption side. Which traffic we want to examine. We need to write a rule for it here. Let's write 2 rules and 1 rule to examine all the traffic. In our other rule, let's exclude the traffic in the finance category from SSL decryption. Let's say add. Let's call it SSL inspection. Let's come to the source part. Our source is inside. Our source address is 172.16.0.0. Destination outside. We'll leave all of them in the service section, and when we come to the option section, we specify that we will examine the traffic by selecting decrypt in the action section. Let's make the log settings here. Let's say OK. Thanks to this decryption policy we created, we will examine all our traffic, but we want to exclude the traffic in finance category from SSL decryption, so let's write a policy for that. Let it be called Finance No Decryption. Our source is inside. Our source is 172.16.0.0. Let's select the finance category in the destination outside and service URL section. I chose the finance service. Let's come to the option part. Here we choose No Decrypt. We indicate that we will not examine this traffic. Let's say OK. Hierarchy is also important in the rules here. The rule we wrote above has priority over the rule below, so we need to take this rule at the top, because we stated that we will examine all traffic in the rule above. But we do not want the finance category to be examined, so we take this rule above. Let's print the changes we made now to the running config of our firewall. I say commit. Now we have created our certificate and rules. We need to upload the certificate we created to all users in the domain. If you do not install this certificate on clients, clients will have problems when connecting to the internet. Now our settings are loaded successfully. Let's go to the client side and run our tests. From here, let's go to the device section and export our certificate. I come to Certificate from Certificate Management. Let's select the certificate we created here and export it. I say OK. Now the certificate has been downloaded to my computer. Let's open the certificate and install it. Let's choose Local Machine and do Next. Let's choose where to install from here. Let's install it under Trusted Root Certificate Authority. I say Next. I'm finishing. Our certificate has been successfully uploaded. Now let's close our page and open our web browser again. We have access to the page now, but how can we check if we have SSL decryption? Let me show you right away. We right-click on an empty place on the page and select the Inspect element. From here, I click on the three dots and select More Tools. Here I come to Security. Here I click View Certificate. When I say View Certificate from here, you can see the B.com certificate we created on the firewall side. If you see this certificate, you can understand that the audit is active. Now let's go to a page in the finance category and test it there. Now let's right-click here, let's say Inspect and go to Security from More Tools. When we say Show the certificate, you can see that the issuer of the certificate is Komodo RSA. Since we do not control the finance category, our firewall does not examine the traffic here. Now let's go to the firewall side and look at our logs. Click the Decryption tab under the Monitor and Log tab. When we come to Decryption, you can see the SSL traffic here. We leave the traffic we want out of SSL Decryption. We make the traffic we want to be examined by SSL Decryption. That's all we have to say in this lesson. See you in our next lesson. Bye.